by the time we get to the end of this video, this garage will be completely demolished. And we will begin the journey of turning this into a 2-story timber frame art studio of my dreams. If you have been to this channel before, hello, long time no see. It feels good to be back. And if you are new, hello to you too. My name is Hannah Bennyhood. I am an artist. I make sculptures and murals and installations and illustrations, and most of my work lives outside in public space. I am also an architect, which meant that I have also had the pleasure of designing this art studio as well. I have done all the space layout, I've done all the drawings for the planning application, done all the design and access statements, I have done all the detailing, the specification. For me, this art studio is kind of like my biggest art project yet. Yes, it is architecture, but I'm also thinking of it as a space for experimentation. A space where I can learn as well as inhabit, which is why I have made the decision to build a lot of it myself. Let me share with you the plan. We bought this house in 2024 when I was 9 months pregnant. And we bought it because it ticked all the boxes, but it is a complete renovation project from top to bottom. We have split the renovation into phases and we are already on phase 3. We're flying through, guys. Let me talk you through them. This little room was phase 1 of the renovation. And it was quite timely because I started this project when Oz was about 3 months old, maybe a bit younger. All with the mission for it to be ready for when he turned 6 months old so he could move into his nursery. This project was a little bit more than just a lick of paint. We are slowly insulating all the exterior walls of this building as well. So this wall I completely re-insulated, added new plasterboard, then got it all plastered and then went on to the decorating. I also redid the skirting in here and closed up a random hatch that was in the ceiling. Although this project is the smallest room in the house, it was quite intense and I was also only a couple of months postpartum. The thing that I loved about this project is that it meant so much because obviously I was creating a room for my baby, but also it meant so much to me. Having a child is a lot, having a baby is a lot, and having the ability to get my teeth stuck into something physical, something creative, something that I could not do it holding the baby. So it gave me the excuse or the impetus to ask for help from people around me to look after the baby whilst I did his room. And honestly, this project really brought me back to life. It's been 2 years since I've done this project and it's holding up pretty well. I still absolutely love the mural I did. The little foxes and the hounds on the ceiling, which was inspired by the little baby fox cubs that we had in our garden during that first year of having Oz. And the greyhound, which was of course a tribute to Honey. She actually passed away this year, which kind of makes this mural feel even more special. I personally am of the belief that a nursery is for you as a parent, not for the child, not till they have an opinion, which they really don't. I'm 2 years in and Oz really doesn't care what this room looks like. I would say if you were doing a nursery, it doesn't matter about gender, doesn't matter about any of that stuff. Just like do what you want to spend time in and what you will enjoy. I'm sure one day Oz will be repulsed by these heart-shaped flowers that I've painted everywhere, but for the first 2-3 years of his life, they have been absolutely delightful to me, and heart actually ended up being one of his first words, and I'm sure that is because of the mural. Phase 1 complete, love it. Phase 2 of the project was both the bathroom and the spare guest room, which has also been temporarily acting as my studio. I am so happy with how this bathroom came out. Every time I come in here, I feel like I am in a spa. It feels like a luxurious experience. It was so worth doing this earlier. The big decision that I made in this bathroom was the choice to move this wall. Before the renovation, the bathroom actually ended basically at this wall. It had a bath, a shower over the bath, and the sink and toilet all on this side. I was extremely keen to have a walk-in shower, but also a bathtub. Jake and I tend to have showers more often than baths, but we have a kid who uses the bath every single day. So I knew that we would use the bath and the shower daily. So I was prepared to take some of the room next door and give it to the bathroom. Zero regrets. Zero regrets. It would have definitely been a lot cheaper just to renovate this room as it was, but the amount of use that we get out of it and the luxury, it still feels like a luxury being able to walk into a shower. It was totally worth the investment. 100% would do it again. Lots of people attack renovation projects in different ways. Some people rip out everything from every single room. I am of the belief that if you are living within your renovation project, doing one room at a time is very beneficial because it slowly gives you spaces that feel complete and allow you to see the vision of the wider house before the whole house is finished. This room is my current temporary art studio. You might start seeing a theme with my home. These spaces work hard. So not only is it my temporary art studio, but it is also the guest bedroom. I found this Murphy bed on Facebook Marketplace. It was an absolute bargain. We hired two incredibly strong men to get it up the stairs and into this room because my oh my, are Murphy beds heavy. They installed it and then I built this bookshelf around it. So it feels completely built in. I've had many guests stay here and say that they've had a lovely sleep. Before I got the Murphy bed, I was just working on a desk next to a bed that was permanently down. And I found it so stressful. It was such an uninspiring place to work. It gave me lots of COVID flashbacks. And I think there is something about working in a space where there is a bed. It's sending confusing messages to your brain. There's like one bit of the room where you're meant to work and like one bit of the room telling you to rest. So I love the fact that we can remove the bed completely and this can just solely be a room for creation. If you have a guest bedroom work from home setup, highly recommend a Murphy bed. As a note, there used to be a chimney breast here and we removed it as part of this phase. This is what allowed us to take more space from the bedroom and still fit a double bed in. If we didn't do that, this wouldn't have worked. One of the other things you need to consider when you're doing a full house renovation, even if you're doing it room by room, is how each phase has a knock-on effect on a phase down the road. So as an example, we removed the hot water tank in the bathroom to make way for the washing machine and the tumble dryer, but that means we had to make a decision about where the new boiler was going to go. That meant that I had to make sure that the kitchen was designed, even though the kitchen is way down the line, to make sure that we put the boiler in the correct place, ready for when we came to that phase. Phase 2, complete. Phase 3 here is build art studio. Okay, so we are back in the garage. Let me clip my mic on so I can go hands-free and walk you through the plans. As I was saying to you, the plan is for me to build a lot of this myself, but I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna be out here digging foundations myself. No, no, no. I am running a business whilst we build this. I'm also parenting a toddler. There's only so much I'm gonna be able to do. The plan is to get the contractor to do the foundations, the timber frame, the external insulation and the cladding, and then creating essentially a watertight shell. They will install the windows and doors as well, and then they'll hand it over to me and I'll do everything from the inside. Let's go through the actual plan for the studio. So as you can see, it's not a huge space. On the ground floor, 20 meters squared. So on the ground floor, let's draw the plan, shall we? This is our ground floor, and this here is our first floor. To the right of the studio is the house. House is here. On the ground floor, what we're first doing is tucking in a bathroom here, a toilet and a shower, and you will have access to this from both the studio and from the house. The studio is going to have its own access because I want it to be able to stand alone. So you could just use the studio. I can have clients come and visit and they won't have to enter the house. So the studio will have its own entrance. Then we'll have the bathroom here, which will have a Jack and Jill doorway. So you'll be able to get into the bathroom from the studio, but also into the bathroom from the ground floor of the house. At the back of the studio, we will have 2 double doors, which will lead you out to the garden. In this corner here, we will have our stairs going up to the first floor. The first floor is going to be a mezzanine. We're not going to build it the whole way across. We're going to leave this bit open. So here we'll have a double height space, which will feel delicious. So nice. The idea is that ground floor will be mostly a workshop, and then first floor will feel like a cleaner studio space. We'll have 2 windows on the first floor, one here at the front and one here at the back. And then in the center of the plan, we've got a skylight to bring light right into the middle as well. You might be thinking, this is a hell of a lot of time and money to invest in an art studio, and you are right. So one of the things that I did when I was planning this art studio was that I also designed it as a micro home. A lot of people talk about forever homes, and I don't really believe in the concept of a forever home. What does that really mean? Like, will I be here till I die? Maybe, maybe not, who knows? I don't, you don't know. None of us really know what's in the future. I don't know how long I'll have this career for, or what twists and turns life might throw up for me. So what I wanted to do was give us options as a family, and in this instant, options means having the ability to convert this space into a dwelling if needed. Maybe I'll end up looking after an elderly relative. Maybe when Oz is older, he won't be able to afford to live in London and he can take this over. Maybe when we get to retirement, we'll realise we don't have enough cash to live off and we could split the house and sell it. I don't know, but what I do know is that I like options. So let's have a quick look at what this will look like if it's furnished as a dwelling. So if this becomes a dwelling, it's still, like I said, very small. This will be less than 50 square meters, which is less than a typical 1-bed flat. So this will be small, as I said. So you will come in here, and this now underneath the stairs would be your kitchen dining space here. You probably have some appliances across here, and then maybe a little dining space here, 2 chairs there. It would be tight, but it would be quite sweet. Then here, this will be your living. Here's your sofa here and a coffee table. Then you would come up the stairs here, and this would be your master bedroom. Here's your bed. This here would be where your wardrobe would be. And then here you'd Hello, Hannah speaking. Where were we? So this is the plan that may never happen, but it's good to have these things planned out just in case. Doing this exercise actually made me move windows, rethink scale of things, rethink position of things, because I had to make sure it will work if we ever convert it, which we might never do. But like I said, your girl loves an option. Phase 4 is to move the kitchen into the art studio temporarily so we can create a kitchen and dining room in the house. Currently, this is our dining room setup. We have all the stuff from the garage in the house. So it's not ideal, but we're doing what we have to do to get through. This is just renovation life. If you know, you know. If you live in the house whilst you renovate, you got to get creative. Phase 5 will be about finishing the hallway. This hallway will connect obviously downstairs to upstairs, but will also connect the house to the studio. And we also want to add a skylight. It's actually quite a large project, the hallway. So it is a relatively large phase of the project for such a small space. Once we have finished the hallway, I can do the living room, which is where you are standing right now. At that point, the entire downstairs will be finished, which will leave the final room at the top of the house, which will be our bedroom. We have left that to the bitter end. Once the entire inside of the house is finished, we have the outside. We've got the back garden, the front garden. There's so much work there. I can't even really think about it. And honestly, this is years away. Phase 1 was 2024, phase 2, 2025, phase 3 is 2026, this year. Realistically, we're probably not going to get to kitchen diner till next year, 2027. Then it gets to 2028, and I'm hoping we could do hallway, living room, and bedroom together in 2028. Which then moves us to the outside garden 2029. Oh my gosh. Look, I thought that this whole renovation would take us 4 years. That was my pitch to my husband when we bought the house. But construction costs have gone through the roof. It is so expensive to build that our original budget just does not cover everything for us to be able to do it in that timeline. We'll get pretty close. Within 4 years, we should get, halfway, which I don't think is that bad considering how big actually these phases are. But there will probably be more to do, and that's okay. As much as we all love the dopamine hit of the before and after and how much I would love a home that is finished, the reality is that a lot of us spend years renovating our home, and that's okay. I just feel so lucky and privileged that I have a home to be able to get to do this and hopefully get to take you guys along the journey with me as well. I did always know this was going to take a long time, so we bought a place which is totally livable. Is it ideal? No, but it's still been a wonderful home for me and my family, even if it has got peach coloured textured wallpaper. We can live with that. We can live with that. And just like that, the garage is demolished. In the next video, we are going to cover the foundations, the timber frame, and the facade of the existing house. So if you're interested in following along on this journey, subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and I will see you soon.
Ozzy, where did it go? It fell down! What have you done? What have you done?